Hello watch lovers, this is Anders here on Time and Ground channel. Today a long-term follow-up review of my purchase of the Rolex Air-King 126900. It's nearing 1 year since I bought this watch, and now I wanted to give you the long-term review of this Air-King watch. What are the best 3 things and the 3 worst things about this watch. Just a little bit of facts about this watch. Of course it comes in the typical green Rolex box. Here we have the Air-King. This is the newer Air-King version, introduced in 2022. It was the successor of the Air-King 116900. So this watch is still in production. We just saw all the new Rolex models from Watches and Wonders 2024, and some people were considering that this watch would go out of production, but it's still in the Rolex collection. So the watch measures 40 millimeters from side to side. If you measure from this part to this part, it is 51.2 millimeters from lock tip to lock tip. So quite a large span here from the one end to the other end of the watch. It has a height of only 11.9 millimeters, so it will wear slim. And then you have a 20 millimeter lock opening. It's made in Rolex's proprietary 904L stainless steel. It is powered by the Rolex caliber 3230. It is a high beat movement, 28,800 radians per hour, a superlative chronometer with 70 hours of power reserve. I get between 1 and 2 seconds plus per day, so that is within the deviations tolerated by the Rolex COSC certified superlative chronometer movements. The watch weighs 139 grams, and I did remove a few links, which I have down here, you see. So getting a little more up and close with the Rolex Air-King here. It's a polished case on the sides, the bezel, flat sapphire crystal, and then you have a very nice brushed bracelet tapering from 20 down to approximately 16 millimeters by the clasp. You have a friction based and fold over clasp with the Rolex crown, and you do have the Easy Link extension, so you can always add a few millimeters to the size if your wrist gets swollen. It has screwed links, polished on the sides, the bracelet here, of course a sealed case back, 100 meters of water resistance. The Air-King is one of the watches that you're supposedly actually able to get if you visit a Rolex AD to buy a watch. So let me get into the 3 best things and the 3 worst things about this watch in my long-term review video here. So let's start with the worst things about this Rolex Air-King. Now, the worst thing in my opinion is definitely the way that they decided to loom this watch. So with the previous version they actually had fully white gold numerals for 3, 6 and 9. That is changed with this watch, so you have loomed 3, 6 and 9, as well as the loomed hands as well, and of course the triangle. What is disappointing is that you only have loom in the numerals, the hands and the triangle, not the additional numerals, the minute markings here, and that is kind of a weird choice because it is a pilot's watch. So why not use a loom to fill these numerals as well? So during the night you will only see the hands, the triangle and the 3, 6 and 9. Weird choice from Rolex in my opinion. Now the second most annoying thing is the lock to lock distance, and it is quite a big case, but what actually is adding a lot to the size while wearing this watch is that you have male end links, as you see here. So the bracelet, it goes out from the case. That will make the watch wear a little bit bigger. So here on my 17.5 centimeter wrist circumference, you can see I can easily pull it off, but it wears quite big. It is slim, but the male end links, they actually make the watch wear bigger than its actual size of the case, because I get 47.5 millimeters with the case, but the additional length from the strap just makes it a bigger watch, so it will wear much more like a 41 or maybe even a 42 millimeter sized watch. And then the third worst thing is that it's a very top heavy watch. One of my gripes with the Milgauss, which I used to own in my collection, and which is the same problem with the Milgauss case of the previous version of this watch, is that it's a very top heavy watch. A lot of the weight is simply distributed to the case because it's a lot of stainless steel. So it just wears very heavy on the wrist. That is something to consider. I would have wished that it was kind of more distributed. It would feel a little more even with the weight, but it is definitely a top heavy watch. So that was my 3 worst things about this watch. Maybe in the future I will have other things I dislike and other things I like about this watch. So let's talk about the 3 great things about this watch, the 3 things I really enjoy about the Air-King. Now first of all, the Rolex colors. So it is the corporate yellow and the corporate racing green, and you don't see too many Rolex watches today with these colorways, and I think it just adds a lot of fun coloring to this watch, kind of making it a kind of colorful summer spring Rolex watch in my opinion. I really do enjoy the green Rolex, and I do enjoy the green second hand, as well as the yellow crown you see. So I think that's a really nice thing that they actually use the corporate colors for this watch. The second thing I really like about the Rolex Air-King is that it's very unique to the Rolex collection in my opinion. So they did disband the Melgors last year. This means this is one of the last really weird watches in the Rolex collection, because as it is now, they also did disband, stop producing the Rolex Yardmaster 2, which is probably the weirdest watch in the Rolex collection. So this is kind of an odd watch in the Rolex collection, which is very conservative. It's very tight in its design. This is definitely the watch that stands out, a very different Rolex watch, and that is what I really do enjoy about this watch. It's so different. And the last thing, as you saw before, because it's less than 12 millimeters thick, although it's kind of a big Rolex sports watch, it does sit very slim and very flat on the wrist, and that's a thing I really do enjoy about this watch. It is a really nice watch to wear actually. So will this watch stay in my collection? It is a definite yes, as far as I'm concerned now. You never know what happens in the future. But I do like a lot of things about this watch. It's a different watch. I like the colorways, and I do like it's a time only watch. I do like the dial layout as a pilot watch with the minutes instead of the hours. So definitely a watch I can recommend if you don't mind a watch which has a few flaws like the lume, like the top heaviness and the lock-to-lock distance. So I hope you enjoyed my long-term review of this Rolex Air-King 126900. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up, it's a huge help. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you very soon again. Thanks, bye.